News is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the record, proudly brought to you by
Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
This is For the Record with ORRETT CONNOR.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, ORRETT CONNOR.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees. So fair. Today is Friday, the 16th day of December 2022, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious. Whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or operating any type of motorized vehicle on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please, please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, by so doing, the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday and to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs are proudly brought to you by life insurance agent Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center. Live your best life and make sure your family can too. Those are the words of advice coming from Mr. Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center. Live your best life and make sure your family can too. For those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to express our sincere condolences to you. We do hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you as well. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. And for those of you who may be put on some sort of physical regimen to ensure proper healing, like for instance, if you've had a knee replacement surgery or a hip replacement surgery, and the recommendations once you're sent home are for you to do your exercises, please ensure that you comply with the instructions of your therapist. Otherwise, you're not really helping the successful surgery that would have taken place if you do things that are counteracting the positives that the surgery has brought about, but you are not now complying. So get out there. If you need to walk, if you need to use a walker or not, if you need family members to assist you with walking or whatever, but remember, you need to take the initiative as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, ORRETT CONNOR, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. The radio voice of Silver Fox, Mr. Paula Cal, is waiting to take your calls. You can call us on a toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261. Follow us on YouTube. Do that by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. And, of course, you can follow us on Facebook as well. So let's start with some birthday greetings. And birthday greetings are going out to Miss Kerry Nixon, and they are coming from your brother, Mr. Bruce Moore, and his family. And she will be celebrating her birthday tomorrow on Saturday, and I'm sure that her colleagues, former colleagues at what used to be the immigration department, would want to wish her as well. She was also my deputy when I was the chief immigration officer. She's also the registering officer for the district of Bordentown as far as her elections are concerned. She's a member of the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens. I believe that's the one that she is. Really, really an involved person in her community. And we want to wish Miss Carey. Oh, she's also a JP and contributes her time at the Government Administration Building on those days that there are free services given by Justice of the Peace as well. So, Miss Carey, real happy birthday to you tomorrow when it comes. Hope you live to see many, many, many more. And I'm sure that all of your friends and family will be in touch with you. So, but this one is coming from Mr. Bruce Moore, your brother. He also wants to wish happy birthday greetings, which will be on Saturday, to his cousin, Gary Chisholm, and he's celebrating his birthday tomorrow as well. So, Miss Carey and Mr. Gary Chisholm, happy birthday greetings coming from your brother in the case of Miss Carey, and from your cousin in the case of Gary Chisholm as well. Other birthdays being celebrated, and we're going basically by Facebook on this one. Vernita Pinnock Ebanks, Jessica Ebanks, Miss Joan Barnes, great cook. She's a cook. Mr. Ada Powell's sister as well, and he certainly can attest to her good cooking as well. Her baba, our bobo. Yep. Also, Jean Pearson celebrating a birthday. Martin Denal, Rebecca Rankin, Mwangi Nagamate as well, and Virtuous V. Ebanks, all celebrating birthdays today. One more announcement that I'm going to make before we go to our commercial break. And tomorrow, Saturday, the 17th of December, the Honorable Catherine Ebanks Wilkes will have a family country Christmas celebration at the West Bay Heritage Park. It starts at 4 p.m. Yeah, there will be a Santa Claus there. There will be bouncing castles, face painting, fireworks, snow cones, hot chocolate station, food, and much, much more. And if you need Any additional information, please contact the West Bay Central office as well. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after this short commercial break.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Some military action took place off the sea during World War II. On land, very little military action took place despite the installation of the U.S. Naval Base in Georgetown. Although they did have regular rounds of duties, the Americans had opportunities to interact with locals when not on duty. Informal parties were held at Petra Plantation, Hislop's Ice Cream Parlor, or the tea shop run by Madeline and Myrtle Ebanks. Reverend George Hicks, a Presbyterian minister, was appointed honorary chaplain. As would be, romance blossomed, as well as including the marriage of Lillian Bodden, daughter of Captain Rail and Chief Warrant Officer Jack Howard. However, tensions did occasionally rise, especially if the young Caymanian women were overly friendly to the Americans. On several occasions, fights between the Caymanian men and American military would break out near the town hall, with the most serious incident taking place in December 1943 when 40 of the Caymanian men were home on leave.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Ho, 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 ho. Tis Santa here. Join me and my elves for the 2022 Coca-Cola Christmas Parade, Grand Cayman's cheeriest Christmas tradition. Tuesday, December 20th, my elves and reindeer will be soaring from the heart of West Bay at 5:30 p.m. with 7 stops: Turtle Farm, West Bay Fire Station, Governors, Cardinal Avenue, Windsor Park, Country and Western, and South Sound Dock. My elves and I will be giving away presents throughout the parade. Ho, ho, ho. So come out for a wave. Join the Christmas cheer, the 2022 Coca-Cola Christmas Parade, Tuesday, December 20th, starting from West Bay, 5:30 p.m.
J&M Money touching down again. Now you can send your US dollars at any location on island, including the BRAC. It's easy. Just walk with your US dollars. No need to convert to CI. This is another convenient service available at J&M Money. They always find a way to make it easier and hassle-free. So remember, when you need to send your money and you only have US dollars, don't ever think of what to do. Just head straight to any J&M Money location and send your money the fast, convenient, and affordable J&M Money. J&M Money, touching down again. J&M Money, ranga to la friend.
So much happening, so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my health care instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross, now at Vamp Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vamp Motors, Walkers Road.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Ho, ho, ho from the Webster family. I'm Michael Webster of Cayman Insurance Center.
And I'm Michael Webster II.
As a proud supporter of Radio Cayman, you've probably heard the message, protecting you and your family so you can take back your future. I'm here to say, as a proud husband and father, there's nothing more important than family.
I agree.
This Christmas, cherish your loved ones and be merry. May your 2023 be full of joy and prosperity, and may family always be number one in your hearts. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with ORRETT CONNOR.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guest in the studio, but to remind you that His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper, will be on the show after the 8 o'clock news. So around about 8:15, 8:20, Governor will be in the studio until 9 o'clock. After 9 o'clock, we will have Minister J. Ebanks in the studio with us from 9 until 10 as well. And to remind all of you that today, the 16th of December, is the last day for the show for the remainder of this year as well. We still have a few more birthday greetings here. So, Kiara James celebrating a birthday today, the 16th of December. And birthday greetings are coming from your grandmother, Ruth James. Also from your mom and dad, sister, aunts, and uncles, and your cousins with lots of love. Happy birthday to Kiara James. Also, Miss Mary Whitaker. A belated happy birthday to her. Her birthday was on the 15th of December, which was yesterday, and those belated birthday greetings are also coming from Miss Ruth James and family with lots of love. So, again, and you heard earlier, Miss Carrie Nixon will be celebrating a birthday tomorrow as well. A very community-minded person. Service before self. She epitomizes that phrase, service before self. What I'll share with you, go back in history a little bit in the Cayman Islands, and this is a tradition that still continues today. This is Tradewinds newspaper on the 30th of December 1965, and it is headlined Rotary Party, and the Rotary, it starts by saying the Rotary Club hosted an enjoyable Christmas party at the new preparatory school Tuesday afternoon. 75 invitations were sent out to residents of Bordentown, North Side, and East End, and the East End areas. 50 to West Bay, and 75 to Georgetown areas. Rotarians and their wives provided the guests with snacks, and all the elderly citizens present spent an enjoyable time visiting and renewing old acquaintances. Music was provided, as the pictures show. Many enjoyed dancing. At the extreme right, so there's a photograph, and at the extreme right of the above picture is Miss Matilda Powell doing dancing a reel. Of course, we refer to it those days as dancing a reel. And this says that she was dancing despite her more than 90 years of age. Then it points out that President Ernest Panton of the Rotary Club is shown during a reel with one of the greats in the picture below as well. So the Rotary Club traditionally held their Christmas party for older folks in Cayman, and this was in December of 1965 that was held. I believe we do have news about 19 other years as well, 1966. So we will see more of that this year, and people are talking about gift giving, and yes, you want to give family members and friends as well. But when selecting those persons who you want to provide with a gift, I think what we need to look at is those persons who are the most needy in our society, and we should select gifts items that people need, that will help to carry them through. We talk about food insecurity. Food insecurity does not only relate to nations, but it relates to individuals as well. There are many people who are suffering from food insecurity, who either don't have enough, or those who don't have the right foods, nutritious foods to eat. When we look in the Cayman Islands, and studies have shown that we are an obese society. That may not necessarily be by choice, but simply because some people do not have the choice in terms of the foods that they want to eat. So when you're going to give something that can be fully utilized. If it is food, give nutritious foods as well. And I recognize and realize that when it comes to traditional foods, that people are going to want those. You're going to want your turtle meat. You're going to want your fruit cake. You're going to want your Cayman sea. Whatever you do, do it in moderation. And yes, I know some of you will have New Year's resolutions, as well. Please ensure that one of those means that you will try to be as healthy as possible, not only in body, but also healthy in mind, which means that we have to continue to look out and take care of the more vulnerable within our society. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, we will have His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper, in the studio with us, so please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Radio Cayman time check now, 8 a.m. This time check is brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
It's a twice as nice Christmas at Foster's.
And this year, you could win $10K of free groceries.
To enter, just purchase any 2 specially marked products at any Foster's supermarket location or shop online with Foster's Go.
We have over $30,000 in prizes and donations to give away.
To win and give this Christmas, go to fosters.ky/twice as nice.
Thanks to Dove, Lysol, Airwick, Sunkist, McCormick, and Seabest. It's always a twice as nice Christmas at Foster's.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. On Wednesday, the Minister for Tourism announced encouraging statistics with regards to Cayman stayover passengers and cruise arrivals, with both set to exceed targets set by the Ministry of 40% of the 2019 figures by the end of the year. However, looking ahead, the Honourable Kenneth Bryan told MPs in Parliament that for 2023 and 24, cruise calls and the total count of cruise passenger arrivals are still expected to be below the 2019 passenger figures. This is because Carnival and Royal Caribbean have confirmed they will be reducing the number of calls by their ships because of Cayman's lack of a berthing facility.
These and other cruise lines have moved to operating the mega ship classes, and they are unwilling to tender them, particularly due to the time it would take to ferry passengers to and from the ships.
To give an idea of the type of shortfall anticipated, passenger count from Royal Caribbean in 2019 was more than 400,000. It's set to fall to 330,000 in 2023 and 300,000 in 2024. For Carnival, there were 327 ship calls in 2019, and that's expected to fall to just 171.
While that is not an accomplishment, Madam Speaker, I mention it because it reflects the will of the people of these islands, who made it very clear that they do not want a berth-in facility/cruise pair. The reduction in cruise calls is a consequence of that decision, and it's a reality that we will have to live with unless the people say otherwise.
Cayman voters shot down the berthing facility in a national referendum in 2020. The Grassroots Public Education and Awareness Campaign has been launched to shine a light on blue spots. More from Radio Cayman's Shanda Gallego.
Launched by the Cayman Islands government in conjunction with the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, the Save My Spot Now campaign was developed to encourage compassion and advocacy for members of the community with visible and invisible disabilities who rely on accessible parking for a better quality of life. It also aims to rally the community to protect accessible parking areas and better understand the rules of use. Disabilities are defined as any physical, mental, or neurological condition that may affect an individual's movements or senses, regardless of outward appearances. For example, someone may legally have a disability parking permit or license plate without having a visible mobility assistance device like a wheelchair, scooter, or cane. Invisible conditions such as chronic fatigue syndrome, heart conditions, asthma, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis may qualify someone to park in a blue spot. Therefore, the public is encouraged not to judge appearances or make assumptions about people they see using accessible parking, but do be alert to vehicles that park in these spots without the approved permits or license plates. Shanda Gallego, Radio Cayman News.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. Ukraine says 9 of its power facilities have been damaged in a huge new wave of Russian missile strikes, and energy consumption in the country has dropped by more than half. The strikes have reportedly killed at least 3 civilians in central and southern Ukraine. Japan has announced it will double its military spending in the next 5 years and will acquire the ability to strike enemy bases, citing threats posed by China and North Korea. The changes mark a dramatic overhaul to Japan's post-war pacifist strategy. The special tribunal dealing with the Kosovo conflict has sentenced an ethnic Albanian former guerrilla commander to 26 years in prison. Salim Mustafa was found guilty of torture of civilians at a camp in 1999 and the murder of one of the detainees. South Africa's governing African National Congress is holding a meeting during which President Cyril Ramaphosa hopes to be re-elected as party leader, despite a damaging recent scandal. Earlier this week, MPs from his own party voted against an impeachment inquiry. Rescue teams in Malaysia are still searching for 14 people missing after a landslide engulfed a campsite close to the capital, Kuala Lumpur. 19 deaths have been confirmed. The American Space Agency NASA has launched a mission to undertake the first survey of all of the Earth's surface waters from space. A rocket carrying a satellite blasted off from the Vandenberg Space Base in California. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com. Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Town. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
HSA's cardiology clinic is now located at Smith Road Medical Center. Our cardiology team provides expert care and treatment for heart conditions such as coronary artery disease, heart failure, arrhythmias, hypertension, congenital heart diseases, among others. The new location offers state-of-the-art cardiac diagnostic testing, including echocardiograms, ECGs, and stress tests. To contact, call 949-8600. At HSA, your heart matters to us.
Shop at Funky Tanks, the home of electronics and more. Check out Funky Tanks' 2 locations, Sheridan Road and Countryside Savannah, for loads of fireworks for your Christmas and New Year's celebration. Also in stock at Funky Tanks, both locations, stoves, fridges and small appliances, mini split air conditioning units, sheets and comforters, all sizes, window curtains, cell phones and telephone accessories, musical instruments, karaoke and Bluetooth speakers. New service now available at Funky Tanks, computer and cell phone repairs. Funky Tanks. For more information, call 949-0998. Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year from the management and staff of Funky Tanks.
New stock has just arrived at Super Stitch. Now don't take my word for it, drop by and see for yourself. Fresh off the boat, we have loads of fabric, vinyl upholstery fabric, fabric for cushions, outdoor fabrics, and dress fabric. That's not all. Super Stitch has sewing accessories and craft items. Included in the new shipment, you will find sheets, comforters, throw pillows, bath mats, rugs, and curtains for every room in your home. Super Stitch, 39 Pasadora Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best price in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Hi, my AC just went out and I need someone to come fix it.
I'm sorry, we're closed.
Okay, what about tomorrow?
We're only open on Thursday. And we're fully booked.
Have anything next week?
No.
Okay, when can you send someone out?
The 22nd is open.
I'll take it.
Of December 2023.
With the best medical cover for your dollar, we're like an AC technician who isn't too busy for you. CG Britcay. Good like that.
All right, good morning, Kima. Let's take a look at your latest weather. Present temperature 76 degrees, but it feels like about 85. It's nice and sunny on the outside, partly cloudy, of course. Winds are out of the east-northeast at 3 miles per hour. Relative humidity 91%. Barometric pressure at 29.94 inches and falling. Moderate southeasterly winds are expected today across the Cayman area in association with a high-pressure system east of the Bahamas. So our forecast for today calls for partly cloudy skies, very little chances of showers. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s. Winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Then later tonight, partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures will fall to the mid-70s. Winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. We're presently in a low tide or high tide. Low tide will be at 10:10 this morning, high again at 4:01 this afternoon, and low at 10:51 tonight. For tomorrow, high tide is at 5:56 a.m., low at 11:27 a.m., high at 4:45 p.m., and low at 11:35 p.m. Sunset this evening is at 5:50. Sunrise for tomorrow, Saturday, at 6:53. And the outlook is for light easterly winds and slight seas through Sunday night. That's your latest weather, my friends. The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Hey, Bill, glad to see you back in the office. Who? Bill.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think you're mistaking me for someone else.
Tom.
Nope.
Jack.
No.
Alex.
No. Want me to just tell you?
Nope, I got this, George.
No, you don't. Still not me.
Adam.
Not even close, man.
We're like a coworker that didn't forget your name. CG Britcay. Good like that.
Okay, good to see you, Mike John.
It's Mordecai.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
All right, my friends, let's take a look at the traffic situation in the Georgetown area, on the outskirts of Georgetown, especially along Crew Road and the Linford-Pearson Highway. Yes, traffic is built up around that area, which is expected. Of course, those continuing on, trying to get onto Shedden Road or those via Huldah Avenue will experience some slow-moving traffic until you get through to the basic streets in the Georgetown area. 2 cruise ships in so far, maybe 3. Gotta zoom in the camera there to check that out, but more cruise ships are expected this morning. And of course, looking at the Esley Tibbetts Highway, we do have some traffic coming off in the southbound lane into the Georgetown area. Oh yes, there's just 2 cruise ships in port right now, so expect lots of pedestrian movements in the waterfront, Seafarers Way, North Church Street, South Church Street, onto West Bay Road. Looking at Edward Street, traffic flowing in both directions, similar on Shedden Road with some light pedestrian movement, some on bicycle as well. Godfrey Nixon Way, of course, getting busy, similar with Eastern Avenue and both streets in Georgetown. Looking at the east-west arterial, traffic has cleared up for the majority of traffic coming into the Georgetown area. Cayman Brack and Little Cayman, light traffic at the moment. Buckle up and stay safe, my friends. Enjoy your Friday. This traffic report brought to you by our friends at Subway.
When you're craving something big, something tasty that gives you that lip-smacking satisfaction, something that hits the spot, there is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
It's pretty tasty.
Filling and full of flavor. Try our new sweet onion steak teriyaki with a twist, or the classic chicken teriyaki. Top it with green pepper, onions, cheese, and that sweet onion teriyaki sauce, all piled on your favorite artisanal bread. Satisfy that craving with a footlong from Subway.
Fresh, delicious, tasty, meaty.
Let's make it a meal with a drink, chips, and cookies. There is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Increase your chance to win during the Rubis Pure Joy promotion. Don't miss Top Up Tuesdays at Jose's Rubis. Reflections offers you gas for less. Earn a stamp each time you spend $25 at Jose's Rubis. Collect all 8 stamps and you're entered to win cash, laptops, phones, and smart TVs during the Rubis weekly giveaways. Plus a grand prize of a piece of land in Grand Cayman, valued at $150,000.
What? Are you serious?
Ensure that you're healthy and fit before you visit with family and friends. Reflections offers 2 lateral flow test kits or 10 stylish black surgical masks for only $10. Purchase Reflections gift certificates for your loved ones and get entered to win a $150,000 piece of land during the Rubis Pure Joy promotion at Jose's Rubis.
The Butcher Shop at Rankin's Farm is ready to stock your kitchen this holiday season with delicious fresh local meats, beef, goat, and pork available now and cut to order. And they have you covered with fresh produce, hot and seasoned peppers, tomatoes, and scallions straight from Rankin's Farm. The Butcher Shop at Rankin's Farm is located at 3032 Shamrock Road by Rankin's Jerk. Open Monday to Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 924-4584. Make it a happy holiday season with The Butcher Shop at Rankin's Farm.
Are you a Caymanian student graduating or graduated from a government high school and hoping to pursue undergraduate studies at any of the world's most prestigious universities with government financial support? Then you may qualify for the new Government High Schools Scholar Award, which provides 2 students with up to $100,000 in annual tuition funding. Visit the Ministry of Education website at www.gov.ky/education to learn more about this latest opportunity to reach your full potential.
For the record, with ORRETT CONNOR.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with ORRETT CONNOR. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me again this morning His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper. He has been on For the Record as well as in Radio Cayman on many, many occasions. Some will say that he's probably on more than some of the politicians, but we'll leave that there. We'll leave that there. So there are several things that we want to talk about today. We're going to ask the governor to speak about the year that we've gone through so far, some of the challenges, some of the accomplishments that have been achieved as well. We will touch on the new governor. We have seen the announcement of a new governor coming. Who's also, within the diplomatic service as well, and he could speak to the significance of that. How does that help in the role of a governor, being either former or an active diplomat as well? We're going to talk about some of the various legislations that have been put through our parliament. We're going to ask for some advice for the people, of the Cayman Islands. We may touch about on crime as well, not only in the Cayman Islands, but throughout the region. Talk a little bit about the governor's residence and his plans for the holidays as well. So, Governor, a whole lot on your plate this morning.
Wow, good
morning.
Good
Welcome
morning,
to For the Record,
that was quite an agenda. But no, it's always a pleasure to come in and to thank you and everyone at Radio Cayman for the service you offer to our people as well at this festive season. Maybe just a word to start on this spate of armed robberies, because I know that this is a matter of huge concern to everybody out there, and I know it's a huge concern to the Premier and our elected members of Parliament as well. And in fact, we've organised a briefing this morning by the Police Commissioner for the Premier and other MPs, including the opposition, just to get an update on what is happening, which I think is really important. I think we're all sort of shocked at these armed robberies. This is not Cayman, and it really is outrageous that people will seek to use armed weapons in this way, putting our community at risk, and it has to stop. I know that the police are doing absolutely everything they can, and I think they need our help. They need our support. We're all in this together, and the police, I know that they have identified a sort of loose group of a number of different groups who are behind this, but they really need the community's support. So I implore people in the community to help our police. Come forward with information if you have information, either direct to RSIPs, or you can use Crime Stoppers if you want to do it anonymously, or there are other ways to pass information if you want to do it very anonymously. But we do need to support the police. I know the police commissioner, who I've been speaking to every day, has got more patrols. He's got more of the firearms unit is patrolling more. We've got the helicopters up in the air. They have put a lot of resource, and I've asked him, does the government need to provide you with any more resource? He says no, we have the resources we need. So we really need to support RSIPs. They can't be everywhere, and they do need the public's support, and we have to get this issue resolved, because our community has the right to go out and do their shopping and go to the various places that they go to without fear of crime. And I say to those people who are responsible for this that, we have a zero tolerance attitude to crime in the Cayman Islands, and our police have a very good track record of identifying and finding the people behind these crimes, and the full force of our legal and judicial system will be used to stop these people acting in this way.
Now, and there, we here in the Caribbean, Governor, we advocate for, in many instances, for stiff sentences for those persons who commit crimes. And I know that you can't opine too much on the judiciary, but I believe that we have a judiciary now, the makeup of that judiciary, that is so much Caribbean, and they understand what the communities are going through while understanding, some of the issues, as far as criminals are concerned. So I believe that people are happy now with some of the judgments that they're seeing coming out. Now, from a police perspective, yes, we have a constitution, we have a Bill of Rights in that as well, but there are many in our communities, while they may talk about their personal data, being secure and being used and stuff like that, who also advocate for, when it comes to the fact that if extreme measures have to be used, be it wiretapping, people's phone surveillance or whatever, that people are prepared to accept that, because they're not the criminals. So the law-abiding citizen doesn't mind it because it's not directed towards them.
Yeah.
And they have no problems with the government using it to try to control the criminality as well. Any views on that?
I think those are all really, really interesting observations. And I think we have a legal framework to deal with these issues. I think it is robust. I think for armed robbery, the maximum sentence is life imprisonment. And using guns in our communities is an extremely serious offence. So I think the legal framework is there to deal robustly with these individuals. But it is up to the government of the day, if it wishes to alter that and change the laws of the country in terms of those offences. So, but I think it's sufficient, and I don't sense at the moment that the police commissioner and his team are asking for a tougher legal framework on those specific issues. Of course, they have made requests around the illegal gambling issue, because our police and our law enforcement agencies strongly believe that a tougher legal framework for penalties and fines around illegal gambling is required. But that's still before our Parliament, so I won't say any more on that at the moment. But I know this is something that the entire law enforcement agencies, who are our experts, they're telling us that is what is required, and that seems to me to be an important area where there does need to be change.
Okay, can we get a review from you in terms of the year 2022, some of the challenges, some of the accomplishments that we have achieved as well?
Yes, it's been a quite extraordinary year, an incredibly busy year. We've had. For example, I know Lions I've had the 50-year anniversary, Emsley Church 100 years, the Cadets 20 years. We brought back the Air Show, which I thought was fantastic. Of course,
public service pensions, 30 years as well, and that pension system is so important to.
That's right, and I was at their dinner the other night. I mean, so many sort of anniversaries. Hurricane Ian, of course, brushed sort of briefly past us. We were very, very fortunate and blessed again this year that we haven't been affected by a major weather system. From a UK perspective, we had an overseas territories minister here. We had the Royal Navy ship Medway, which came to sort of support us after Hurricane Ian brushed past us. The first woman Chief Justice, Margaret Ramsey Hale, who I think is an excellent appointment, and I think that's wonderful for our system. We also have the first female, Caymanian ombudsman as well. So it has been an extraordinary year. Obviously, the absolutely sort of, from a personal perspective, and I think for many people, Her late Majesty passing away was obviously a very sad occasion. I mean, I was with the Premier. We were both greatly privileged to be part of those events in London for Westminster Abbey for the funeral, a reception at Buckingham Palace hosted by the King, where we met many members of the royal family and half of the UK cabinet, and we were able to attend the lying in state and pay our respects on behalf of the people of the Cayman Islands, and we were treated incredibly well. The overseas territories were about row 6 directly behind the royal family. Wow. And I think I've said this before, but President Biden was sitting behind us. I don't know what he thought about that. Nobody asked him. But, and again, for me as a British diplomat with that traditional rivalry with the French, President Macron of France was even further behind us. But it just shows, I think that was Her Majesty's wishes, that she absolutely wanted the overseas territories to be central and a part of the UK family. And I imagine that will be exactly the same for the coronation in May. So, I think this has been an incredible year. I mean, we have challenges in Cayman, but when you take a step back, there is so much to be proud of. We hosted the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force a couple of weeks ago, which was a big success and great for Cayman to host that. But I spoke to all the various delegates at a reception at Government House from different parts of the region, and they are all so impressed by the Cayman Islands and what we have, the quality of the infrastructure, the safety. I mean, it is still, despite these armed robberies that we have, and we'll get a handle on that, I'm sure, it is still one of the safest places in the Caribbean, and they are very impressed when people come here, and we sometimes get caught up in our sort of own sort of issues. But if you take a step back and look at what the Cayman Islands is today, it is a huge success story, and I do think we just need to sometimes keep a sense of perspective about that. Incredibly successful financial services industry, world-beating tourism product, culinary capital of the Caribbean, that great infrastructure and a really, really important construction sector, which is another key part of the economy. So we always have to think about the positives as well as all the challenges.
Yes, and we have successfully navigated the pandemic to a certain extent as well. When we look at other jurisdictions with a comparable population size to ours, the number of deaths in the Cayman Islands, certainly low compared with those as well. And of course, we're not rid of COVID yet, even though we have seen, a little bit more apprehension now as far as taking the vaccine and the boosters and everything. And of course, people will be traveling now as well. And we see that there are other flus and things that are affecting persons. Any advice that you have to those persons who are traveling and when they're returning to the Cayman Islands, and what precautions we would seek to take as well?
I mean, absolutely. I think it's still really important that people do get their boosters for both COVID, and please do get the flu jab. I mean, I think it's clear that COVID has sort of done something to our immune systems in a sense, because there weren't as many of the non-COVID viruses going around, which means that they've come back a bit with a vengeance.
Yes.
And just anecdotally, we in Cayman, I know in the UK it's definitely the case that there is a lot more of it around. So I think get those boosters, because they will protect you. I would just say, sort of stepping back, that I'm very proud of the sort of UK support to Cayman and the other overseas territories on vaccines, the testing capacity and the test kits as well. I think undoubtedly that support saved, I think, many hundreds of lives, and I again pay tribute to all our health professionals who ensured we could roll that out to our community in a very sort of effective way. But yeah, I think the message from the health professionals would be, please don't sort of be complacent now. Don't relax. Don't let your guard down. COVID is still there. It is still dangerous, particularly for our elderly and those with vulnerabilities. So please, if you haven't had your COVID booster, you should consider getting it, and do take up the opportunity to have the flu vaccine as well.
Okay, Governor, we're going to take our first commercial break. When we return, we can talk a little bit about our new governor,
Sure.
and of course, people need to be reminded that you will be here, until April of next year.
End of March, around about the 29th of March.
Okay.
Looks like my departure date.
Excellent. Folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
60 and bossy with J and money. When I trip it easy, trust me. Yeah. Come on, just send some money. I instant entry. Look how you lucky. Bossy, J and money, bossy. J and money, send you go a yard. Bossy, Jamaica well bossy. 60 and bossy. We well proudie.
Celebrate Jamaica 60 with J and Money for a chance to win a dream vacation for two to Jamaica, including airfare, resort stay, and more. Send money for a chance to win. Your loved ones will also be entered for a chance to win a brand new car. Competition runs from now until December 24th. J and Money 60 and bossy enough.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at J&Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
Bossy, Jamaica well bossy. 60 and bossy.
No J and bank account required.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Ho, 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 ho. Tis Santa here. Join me and my elves for the 2022 Coca-Cola Christmas Parade, Grand Cayman's cheeriest Christmas tradition. Tuesday, December 20th, my elves and reindeer will be soaring from the heart of West Bay at 5:30 p.m. with 7 stops: Turtle Farm, West Bay Fire Station, Governors, Cardinal Avenue, Windsor Park, Country and Western, and South Sound Dock. My elves and I will be giving away presents throughout the parade. Ho, ho, ho. So come out for a wave. Join the Christmas cheer, the 2022 Coca-Cola Christmas Parade, Tuesday, December 20th, starting from West Bay, 5:30 p.m. Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with ORRETT CONNOR.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper. We're going to talk a little bit about our new governor. In the past, we didn't know it until after they actually took up their post here. But some governors would have come incognito to the Cayman Islands, visited to see what it is like. I know in past years they may have visited other overseas territories to see what the situation is like, talk to governors, over there to seek their advice as well. So I'm not sure whether or not the governor has been here, and I'm not going to ask you to divulge that to us.
Yeah.
But if you could speak a little bit about it.
Sure. No, so yes, it's Mrs. Jane Owen. No relation to a former governor of that name. But I know her personally. I've known her for quite a while, and she's like me. She's a career Foreign Office diplomat. She's been currently she's the ambassador to Switzerland. She was previously ambassador to Norway, but she's also done a very senior corporate role in government, where she was the sort of CEO of the UK Trade and Investment, the main sort of Department for International Trade as it is today. So I think she's a very good appointment, and I know she's looking forward very much to arriving. So she'll probably get here in the second half of April. There'll be a 2 to 3 week gap, and we have our excellent Deputy Governor who will step in. And let me just say, as I now have the chance, that we're all absolutely delighted. He's back in the office after his health scare. He's a wonderful man, and we know we're all extremely fond of him and think a huge amount of him. And it's fantastic that he's back, and he's firing on all cylinders, and has been attending Parliament this week. So great to have him. Great to have him back.
And I did mention on my show the speech that he gave in Parliament, and encouraging people to take care of themselves, look at their health, eat healthy, exercise and everything else. So, some people will have a tendency to shy back once they've had, a medical situation. But if you are in a position where you believe and you know that you can influence others by giving testimonials and everything else, that is commendable, and I commended him for that as well.
Yeah, well, thank you. I think that is commendable, and I know he feels strongly that's something he can now do, and sort of offer that advice to others. Often men will not sort of come forward if there might be something wrong, and they tend to sort of put it to one side. But I think it's always better to get something checked out and go and see a doctor, and it's always better to proactively have tests and be aware of anything that might be coming before it actually happens. So I think men need to take their health more seriously than they do.
Man up.
Yeah.
Okay, and as a diplomat, as governor, can you speak to some of the advantages that brings to being a governor?
Yes, I mean, I think it does provide a really good sort of training ground for the role of governor. I mean, certainly around the skills around dealing with people, so interpersonal skills, because as a diplomat you're often in a very front-facing role. So as Mrs. Owen has been an ambassador twice, so I think as a diplomat you're very used to being in public situations, mixing with the community. So and I think one thing I've tried to do here is to be very involved in the community, because there's so much going on out there and supporting different areas. And I think as a diplomat that you feel at ease and comfortable going out and about and doing that. But I also think in terms of the skills that you learn as a diplomat, the sort of influencing, the negotiating, trying to sort of achieve objectives for Britain overseas. I mean, that's very similar when you're a governor of the Cayman Islands. And I've said, but by being appointed by then the Queen, now the King, it does create that strong bond. And I felt a strong duty to support the people of Cayman, and so doing your best for the Cayman Islands. I think those diplomatic skills certainly enable you to do that. I would say in an effective way.
Okay. Well, while we're talking about that, I was going to skip to Governor's Beach, but while we're on the topic of governors, on Wednesday, when I announced that you would be on, and I said one of the questions that I would have for you had to do with the cannabis legislation and whether or not the UK government had been consulted in any way in terms of if we were to introduce legislation that decriminalizes the use of certain quantities of cannabis in the Cayman Islands, whether or not we had sounded out the UK on that, because what you wouldn't want to happen is the legislation going through all of the hoops and then it not being assented by the governor. And to go along with that, there's I think at the Times, there was an article in there, and the Royal Gazette has carried it today, and it says the UK's rejection of the island's cannabis law branded as colonial-style intervention. Now, of course, the legislation that was being introduced in Bermuda is completely different than what the referendum question is likely to be in terms, of the Cayman Islands. But would it be prudent for us to know what the UK's position is on it before we even go through the process?
Yes, absolutely, and I can say those discussions have taken place, and I've been able to confirm to the government here that what obviously we haven't seen any legislation yet, but what is being proposed, which is decriminalising the use of small amounts of cannabis, that is in line with the UN Convention. So there wouldn't be an issue from the UK government's perspective if that was what is coming, which is I understand that is what the referendum question will be about. So I think to some, Bermuda has clearly gone a lot further than that, and if other overseas territories want to go further than that, then that would run into I think an issue with the UK, because the UK would want to comply with international law and this UN convention, which applies equally to the overseas territories, would come into play. But as I say, I am clear that from my discussions with London that what is envisaged currently by the Cayman Islands is compatible with the UN Convention and compatible with international law. So it doesn't present the sorts of issues that you're talking about in Bermuda.
Okay, great.
So it's a topic which a lot of people feel quite strongly about, and obviously it wouldn't be appropriate for me to comment, but there are views both ways, but I can see why if some people in our community have a criminal record from a long time ago, and that's then preventing them from playing a sort of full role in our economy and in terms of employment, that this is the sort of thing which can help on that. So I think it's obviously we'll see what the people think when the referendum is held.
Be interesting. Now, Governor's Beach has featured prominently recently, especially with the discussions about the 7 Mile public beach and the vending and everything else. And there are locals as well as tourists who treasure Governor's Beach for the type of atmosphere that it has. Now, along with that discussion, and I have been one who've been, quite vocal on this, about Government House. And in the past, another one of our former legislators felt the same way, that maybe Government House, where it is located and what it is for, and use, or what it should be used for in the future, is to house official events. That would be the place where all government functions, would take place, and to move the governor to another location. Now, if I were governor, I certainly wouldn't want it to happen during my tenure, because, I would probably like being, on the beach. Do you have any views on that, sir?
Well, it's a matter. It's clearly a matter for the Cayman Islands government, who own the property, and if they were to take that decision, then that's a matter for them. I think the views in our community are very divided on this issue. I think there are a lot of people who do not support that, and there are many who do support it. That piece of beach is probably the nicest bit of beach on the whole of 7 Mile Beach. It's quite a large space. It's completely open to the public now. There's a tiny little rope which comes past the fence, but that doesn't take up.
And we made sure when we were building it that we built it far enough away.
Exactly. That was an early model. Which is a shame the others didn't follow that. So I think that a lot of people like the fact that part of the beach is very peaceful, very tranquil, and people I find are incredibly respectful of the fact that the governor is there. There's very rarely very little noise. I think this issue has come up many times before, and I think what it's always, I think, fallen down because of the lack of an appropriate other venue for the governor to host events. And the governor, I think it is right and important, the King's representative, the status of governors in overseas territories, that there is the capacity to host large events. And we do probably 2 receptions a week of 150 people out the back, sometimes much larger receptions at the front, up to 300, 350. So you need somewhere with a lot of parking facilities, and where that is in terms of how people get to it is also another factor. So, I have my personal view on this. I think I'm not gonna sort of say much more, but there's clearly a lot of work to be done before you could even get to the position of doing that. And I think from a UK perspective, the status of a governor and the respect in which a governor is treated in overseas territory is something that I think they would want to be kept informed of,
including the security issues, would be paramount.
Security would be important. I mean, at the moment, we have the RSIP's sort of police there, but again, I've never felt any real security issue at all in my 4 years here. People are incredibly respectful, and I don't think the security where it is at the moment is a major concern.
Okay, we're going to take our last commercial break. When we return, I want to talk a little bit about the refugee situation, and of course my comments will be limited on that because I'm a member of the Refugee Protection Appeals Tribunal, so I'm conflicted in that regard. And that may be I'm going to say this, but this is just a joke. If you want to silence me, then you put me on board so that I can't talk about it. No, I must say that when I was asked to be a part of the membership of certain boards, the ones that I was asked for, they felt that I brought something to the table, had a lot to offer, and I felt the same way as well, and that is why I have done it. So I'm more than happy to remain silent, even though sometimes I cringe when I hear people make comments about certain things, about certain boards, and they don't really recognize the reality of the situation. So folks, please stay tuned for The Record with Governor Martin Roper. Will continue after this short commercial break.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross, now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
JN money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use your money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know it, yeah. JN money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
West Bay, home to Barkas National Park, the touristy flair, a family community, a political powerhouse, From sports enthusiasts to car aficionados, affection for silver thatch roof. No matter how far you may venture, West Bay will always be where the heart is. Home will always be in West Bay. West Bay Pharmacy, caring for your home and your family. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient, quality care is just around the corner.
Planning a holiday party this festive season? Drop into Reflections Liquor for Less and discover the incredible Priced Better markdowns. Hundreds of fine from $2.99. Cases of ice cold beer below wholesale prices. Save $10 off liters of absolute.
Exclusively at Liquor for Less, enjoy our Big Bubbly blog sale for your New Year's Eve celebration. Fantastic manager specials on your favorite fizz. Prices so low, we can't say them on the radio. Liquor for Less, 5 locations from Soundway, Airport Center, North Church Street, Savannah, and Northside are there to serve you. Open 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday to Saturday and 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Sundays.
Please drink responsibly. No alcohol beers and wine are also available, as well as gift certificates and gift wrapping. Merry Christmas from Reflections Liquor for Less.
For the record with ORRETT CONNOR.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record with ORRETT CONNOR. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, His Excellency the Governor, Mr. Martin Roper. Governor, I'm going to just read one comment that I received in relation to the governor's residence. It says, giving up the governor's house would give politicians the opportunity to give it away again, like the 7 Mile Beach, which means that, it may end up being in commercial hands at some point in time. But of course, the governor's vesting in lands and the ability for the government to dispose of government property to a certain extent, is it you in your personal capacity or in cabinet?
No, it's governor in cabinet. Yes. So effectively, it's a Cayman Islands government decision on Crown land. But so if that decision was ever taken at some point, I would very much hope it never would be. Then it is a matter for the Cayman Islands government.
Yeah, Governor, we have a caller on the line. Will you take a caller? Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm sorry about that.
I'm not hearing that. Sorry, shall
I just want to say a happy holidays to you and the rest of your
I got it.
Yeah, go right ahead there. We're hearing you.
Okay. Good morning again. Good morning. And happy holidays to you and the rest of your colleagues out there at Radio Cayman.
Thank you.
Both to Mr. Banks, and have a nice holiday and a happy and pleasant 2023.
Okay. You have any question or comments for His Excellency the Governor?
No, happy holidays to the Governor and his family as well.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, bye.
Thank you very much, caller. For that as well. So, Governor, we said we're going to speak a little bit about the refugee situation and similar to crime, not restricted only to Cayman, but as far as the region is concerned, when you look at news coming from other Caribbean countries, they're experiencing the same thing, especially gun crimes, as well. Now, we see the U.S. being challenged as far as refugees, Europe being challenged as far as refugees are concerned, Central America, our sister overseas territory, Turks and Caicos Islands, with Haitian refugees as well. So, not something that is limited to the Cayman Islands.
It's not, absolutely. I think you're right. There are regional and global sort of trends at work here, and of course we are affected by those as well. I understand that recently some Haitians have arrived in Cuba. So this situation could could deteriorate. I mean, I first of all, on the Cuban migrant issue, this is a devolved area, so it's a devolved matter for the Cayman Islands government. But I've been, from a UK perspective, doing everything I can to support, and we have had the Home Office involved in training for various people involved in the process, including the appeals tribunal. And I remain in close touch with the UK as the situation develops. I obviously we have a good relationship with Cuba and the Cuban authorities, but we are aware that there's a very difficult humanitarian assistance there, and many people do want to leave, and a very small number of those do end up on our shores. But it is a huge number for Cayman. I mean, 350 people is a large number of people. I think that we have the answer here in our own hands in terms of just trying to be faster in how we process the claims, because I think that the overwhelming majority of them do appear to be economic migrants rather than having a sort of solid case for political asylum. So we need to be faster, and we need to return them to Cuba. If the situation does continue to continue with the numbers that we're seeing at the moment, we're already in a crisis. I think that is going to get much worse. So I think the legislation that Parliament passed this week will be very important to helping speed up the process. From a UK perspective, I stand ready to support in any way that we can. But we do need to speed up those processes, and I know there's a lot of work behind the scenes underway to try and do that, and obviously grateful and appreciate everyone who's working behind the scenes, particularly CBC and everybody there.
Excellent. Paul, do we have another caller on hold? Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Blessings to you all. Merry Christmas to the governor and to you also.
Thank you. Same to you.
And the listening public. There's a lot of benefits of keeping that governor's house where it is right now. It's a historic thing. I think that was the site of their first bathhouse there on 7 Mile Beach.
No, I think that one was further down where the old Holiday Inn was located.
Okay. I was just going back there in time, and I thought I had heard, that mentioned a couple of times that it was the governor's house.
I think the caller may be correct. There was a bathhouse where the public sort of governor's beach is, as I understand it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good evacuation route if we need to go by 60, because all the other ones are blocked off by private enterprises. The amphibious marine vehicles and vessels can have good access there to do whatever they got to do to evacuate people. We need to keep that beach in the hands of the Cayman Island people, so that beach can have that kind of sort of aura to it, and it's a good evacuation route whenever we need to get off of this island by sea. A lot of other places are not accessible anymore. That's just my 2 cents worth about it. I love that beach because, just so many memories there, and I got pictures of my little girl growing up on trees that had been pruned now, but, they're still there. So we need to keep, the public access to that whole thing, and the governor should at least deserve to see a good sunset and drink some tea there.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a good blessed holiday season, and it's just one of these special Christmases this year. It seems like we've been locked down, but everyone is more joyous, and everyone is really got a better spirit to them, and you can feel it in the air. Good old Cayman Christmas is here.
It certainly is. Thank you very much, caller, for that. You have a great day as well, Governor.
Yep, absolutely. And I went to the West Bay Beautification Task Force event last Saturday, where they had a wonderful evening with people performing, and they decorated the sort of the patio with the white sand, and it was an old Cayman Christmas. And I think it's really important that you do everything to maintain those old traditions, and you have a very strong Caymanian culture, heritage, and tradition, and I think it's really important to do everything to maintain that and help our younger people to understand it and understand the very tough beginnings that many people in our senior groups had to endure, but then you combine that with what I think is an openness to the outside world, with large numbers of people have come here from other parts of the world, and that strength in diversity, I think, is a real success story for Cayman, and obviously there has to be a balance, and everybody understands that. But I've tried as governor to bring, particularly using social media, to bring both sides of that community together, because I see both sides, a lot of both sides, and I think just using the social media pages to talk a lot about Caymanian culture, heritage, and tradition, which I do on the Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, but also in being involved in many of the other expatriate groups or a lot of the charitable activities. So it is important to bring together and raise awareness amongst different elements of our community.
Okay, Governor, I know you're going to stay a little bit beyond the 9 o'clock headline news, for us as well. You want to talk a little bit about our activities during the holiday season, especially driving on the roads of the Cayman Islands. And also, if you would, I would like you to comment on the government's, if I can call it generosity, about how the government has handled the situation in the Cayman Islands, especially for those persons who in the past couple of years have seen their income stream shrink quite a bit because of the pandemic and everything else. But the government has seen fit to use the financial resources in hand to help those persons, and that is commendable to a certain extent. Of course, there are always people out there who seek to scam the system and everything else, but I want you to talk about that and the UK's perspective on that as well. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The tourism minister tells MPs in Parliament that for 2023 and 24, cruise calls and the total count of cruise passenger arrivals will be below the 2019 figures. This is because Carnival and Royal Caribbean have confirmed that they will be reducing the number of calls by their ships because of Cayman's lack of a berthing facility. Russia has been, quote, massively attacking Ukraine with another wave of air strikes. This according to the head of the Kyiv Regional Military Administration. 2 people have died in a central city and another has been killed in Kherson in the south, according to officials in each place. About 9 power stations have been hit across the country, according to the energy minister. And the whole of Kharkiv is without power, according to the city's mayor. 37 out of 40 missiles fired on Kyiv were shot down, although water supplies in the capital have been affected and metro services have been suspended. Russia has been targeting the Ukrainian energy grid as winter temperatures plummet, and as many as 70 missiles reportedly fired at energy facilities this morning. Meanwhile, Ukraine has accused its enemy of planning a wide-ranging ground offensive for early in the new year, despite recent setbacks on the battlefield. Those are your headlines. I'm Parsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
For the record, with ORRETT CONNOR.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with ORRETT CONNOR. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. The governor has agreed to stay with us until 9:15. He does have other appointments, as well. Governor, we're going to talk about drink driving, but also one of our listeners sent a question asking whether or not you could speak to whether there are plans for radar technology to be utilized or deployed for border control in the Cayman Islands as well.
So that is a good question. I know this has been looked at previously in the Cayman Islands, and we've sort of concluded it's a very expensive option. But I can say that yes, there are discussions underway looking at possible ways to expand our sort of radar coverage. As governor with responsibility for security, it's something that I would strongly support, but obviously it's up to the Cayman Islands government in terms of the financing for that and whether they would be willing to invest in it. But I think those regional trends we were speaking about earlier around crime, it's clearly getting worse and deteriorating. So my personal view is that having that extra radar coverage of our territorial waters could be extremely helpful in terms of the canoe boats that come in frequently from Jamaica, but also in terms of migrants coming into our waters. So all I can really say is that discussions are definitely underway, but they're at a preliminary stage at the moment.
Okay, excellent. So government spending, and we know that the previous government, while there were challenging times, then it became even more challenging when the PAC government, took over as far as individuals' financial situations are concerned. We saw more and more spending on social issues, government absorbing some of the costs when it comes to electricity and other issues, as well. And they are to be commended, for that. Certainly great assistance to many persons, as well. And while we have a constitutional and financial obligation to ensure that our books are balanced at the end of the day, the government has done a commendable job so far. What's the UK's view on that?
I mean, I agree very, very much with what you've just said, OC. I think everybody recognises that this has been an incredibly tough and challenging time coming out of the pandemic, and I know the cost of living crisis at the moment is a real challenge for many people on our islands. That the prices have really gone up for so many basic sort of foodstuffs. And so I think that this government and the previous government, but this government has had to really focus a lot of assistance on our most vulnerable. There's the stipends and the support with utilities bills, as you said, and a lot of charitable organisations out there have also continued to do incredible work. People like Meals on Wheels, Acts of Random Kindness, the R3 Foundation, which is recently set up, but is providing quite significant assistance in many areas. So obviously these are domestic matters, these are matters for the government, but I absolutely do think that, and I see it from the inside because I spend a lot of time with the Premier and ministers, and they care deeply for their people and doing the best for their people, and I know that they're working hard every day to do their best for the people across this community, and it is still a very challenging time for many people out there.
Okay. Governor, we're going to take one more call, and then we want to give you an opportunity for some closing comments as well, because I know you want to speak about the holiday, the festivities, people staying safe, being careful on the roads and everything else. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record.
Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Good morning to you, and season greetings to you, and season greetings to His Excellency the Governor.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
I have a question for the Governor.
Sure.
Yeah, Governor, and I'm trying to make this as simple as possible because a lot of our people do not understand the Constitution, so I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Under the Constitution, there are provisions in the Constitution where the Premier can seek your advice as to whether or not you would devolve any of the subjects under your command to a minister or to the Premier. And in the past, Governor Smith, I think I gave over one of the portfolios one of the subjects in which he was in charge of to Dr. Frank McPhail. That was the prison. I have not seen anything like that since Governor Smith came and left. And if the Premier would seek such permission from you to do that, would you be prepared to say if you would do it, and which one of the subjects that you would probably give over to a minister from your subjects? Okay.
I mean, it is an interesting constitutional question. I mean, it does happen, and it's happened recently. It's so in foreign affairs, for example, when Cayman is setting up these overseas offices, so in Brussels, Washington, and one in Asia. I think Singapore seems to be being mentioned at the moment rather than Hong Kong. So for that to happen, the UK has to provide a letter of entrustment granting the authority to do that. So that's one example of where it does take place, and it has happened recently. I mean, Cayman is pretty much self-governing and runs itself in an absolutely vast range of subjects. So there isn't really very much for the governor apart from security, foreign affairs, defence. I mean, the regiment is something, I think that is an area that could be devolved. It's still very new, so at the moment it reports and comes under the governor, but working very closely with Minister Turner and the ministry. But I think at some point in the future that is entirely possible and likely that could be devolved to the minister in the way that you mentioned the prison.
And border control.
Border control is devolved. Yes, is devolved. That comes under Cayman. And I think there's a UK view across the overseas territories that security should remain a governor UK responsibility, and that's a view. So if there was ever a request that security should be devolved, I mean, the UK would be open to those discussions. But I know from my discussions with them that there is a view that the security should remain a UK governor perspective, as long as the territories wish to remain British overseas territories. The UK believes that would remain a UK responsibility. So I hope that helps to some extent.
Yeah. So and particularly, that would include the police too.
Yes, exactly. But sometimes we get a bit hung up on who has responsibility and who doesn't. I mean, these are all shared joint responsibilities. I mean, even in those areas where the governor has specific responsibility, nothing can actually happen without the full agreement of the Premier in terms of resources, because it has to be what I see a key part of my role in the areas that do come under me in the Constitution is ensuring that on security matters that the government of the day does provide the resources needed, and I would argue for those resources when we're around the table with the Deputy Governor or the Attorney General. So Cayman UK relationship is very constructive. I still say today probably one of, if not the best relationship there is between a British overseas territory and the UK, and the relationship works best when it's consensual, when there's agreement, and we work together. And in all the areas I am responsible for, there is dialogue and discussion at all times with the elected government, because it can't really work unless that takes place. I have a very close relationship with this Premier, as I did with the previous Premier. We're in touch almost daily. We have a sort of almost a 2-hour meeting every week to talk about all sorts of different issues, and so that's the real mechanism where there is that very strong collaboration between a governor and the elected government. And of course, I'm part of cabinet, so I attend that. I chair cabinet weekly, so I'm part of a lot of the discussions. And it would only work if there are strong relationships, if there's trust, and I then am able to use those strong relationships to leverage support from the UK. But if those relationships deteriorate and things become conflictual, not consensual, it makes it difficult to secure a lot of support from the UK. And in my time here, we've had a lot of support, all the COVID support, setting up a regiment. I'm helping on secondees for OFREG, for the Ministry of Transport. We've funded a climate change risk assessment. There's a lot of quiet technical assistance that goes on behind the scenes from the UK, and provided our relationship remains friendly, constructive, mutually beneficial, that can continue. But we don't want it to ever get into a situation where things are tense, where relationships don't work, because then I don't think Cayman wins and I don't think the UK wins.
Yeah. Now, the Governor, you met.
Thank you, Governor. I would just like to say this lastly. Thank you, and happy holidays and happy New Year to you and your family and your staff.
Thank you very much.
And I hope to see you next year when the Boundary Commission meets.
Yes, definitely. No, that's very important. I'm glad that's moving ahead.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Doc. We'll talk as well. Now, Governor, you mentioned chairing cabinet. During the constitutional negotiations, that was a sticking point and one that the UK held steadfast to. The other one had to do with the Attorney General and the Deputy Governor being in Parliament. Now, we know Bermuda, the situation is different, but the UK has always said that the arrangement in Bermuda is the way it is because it was a pre-independence constitution that they received. Now, we know that there's certain legislation, and we mentioned one earlier about the vesting in lands thing, where it is the governor in cabinet.
Exactly.
But you could have legislation with the governor in cabinet, but not necessarily being in cabinet. And there are those who feel that the one stumbling block to full internal self-government is the fact that the governor still chairs cabinet. Do you have a view on that?
My personal view, and I do understand why people say that, because the vast majority of issues and matters that we discuss in cabinet are purely domestic, and there isn't a UK angle to them. But I think the UK view, and it does remain the same, is that whilst these territories wish to remain British overseas territories, the UK does feel that governor chairing cabinet, where that happens, as you say, Bermuda's an exception. I think Gibraltar is an exception as well. But I think that the UK believes that to ensure it can meet its international obligations and its obligations to the good governance of these of the territories, that having the governor in that role is necessary to enable the UK to fulfil those obligations. But the Constitution is a living document. It evolves, and maybe at some point in the future that question will come up again. But when it came up quite recently, there was a UK view that the governor should, in the overseas, should retain that power. I do have to rush off.
Sure. I was going to say to Paul, we're going to just push this for a minute or two to give you an opportunity for some closing comments and maybe to talk about the drink driving.
Sure. I mean, first of all, just on that, I mean, we have tragically, I think, had 15 fatalities on our roads this year, which is a huge number for Cayman, and much bigger than we've had in previous years. And I've seen the sort of for myself, so that some of the driving standards on our roads are really quite shocking. And this is a time of year when we want people to really enjoy going out and about and being with their friends and family. But I just ask everybody to please do follow our laws in terms of drink driving. There's the Purple Ribbon campaign, and the bus on New Year's Eve. There's the Arrive Alive campaign, and having one designated driver who won't drink, and other people can. So, because I think it's about individual responsibility, and we all have a responsibility to everyone else in our community to behave and drive responsibly on our roads. So let's make this a really enjoyable, happy festive occasion, and everybody comes home safe from travelling on our roads this year. But let me just end by, I do want to send my very, very best wishes to everyone across our islands, including Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. I was in Cayman Brac on Wednesday. And my daughter arrives this weekend. She's coming for about 10 days with her long-term partner, and we'll be spending our final Christmas in Cayman. It's a wonderful time of year. We've really enjoyed being here throughout, but also particularly at Christmas. So I want to just wish everybody in the Cayman Islands a wonderful festive season. It's a really special time for family and for friends, and for looking out for those who are most unfortunate in our community, and trying to help the less fortunate. So very best wishes to everybody, and we look forward to our final three months next year with you all.
And thank you very much, and the same to you, you and your family as far as the holidays are concerned, and thanks for being so accessible to the people of the Cayman Islands, and being certainly quite frank in your discussions and in your explanations as well. Okay. We're all the better for that. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Unfortunately, Minister J. Ebanks is unable to be here, so we will have an open mic. This will be an opportunity again for you to express yourselves for the holiday season. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after this short commercial break.
So much happening so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my health care instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price. And a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
For the record, with ORRETT CONNOR.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with ORRETT CONNOR. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We do have a caller on hold. We'll take that call, but before I do that, one of our listeners commented, added a comment in relation to the radar system, and they pointed out that the UK provided a radar system for the Turks and Caicos Islands as well. And yes, and their challenges are even greater than ours, but when it comes to the Haitian migrants, but at the same time, they have the ability to return the Haitian migrants in an expeditious way. Usually, they will either turn their vessels around, or repatriate them within a matter of days because of the agreement that they have with the Haitian government as well. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi. Good morning, O.C.
Hey, good morning. How art thou?
I am blessed, man.
And my sincere condolences to you and the family.
Yes, brother. You know how that goes. But anyhow, is the governor still there or he going?
Yeah, he left.
He left?
Yeah.
Oh, too bad. Anyway, I just want two things. Basically, I just want to express what you said, about him being so accessible, so down to earth. So, what was the word? Like one of us. Like, I always appreciate the time when they were opening or renaming the Bordentown Playfield, for David Powell.
Oh, yes.
And we had the match, and he came and he was joining the team, playing football with us for, like one of the boys. So not too many of these officials, do that.
That's true. So true.
Yeah. So, and I always remember that and appreciate it. And I say anytime I got a chance to see him or to talk, I would let him know that. So I just wanted to let him know that, I personally found him to be a very down to earth and
yep.
accessible person.
Anything you want to say about Christmas to our listeners?
Well, just be safe, drive good, like we can't emphasize that enough.
That's true, yes.
The people, it's so, I don't know, man, what it would take for the driving habits of people to improve. But, simple little things like just using indicators when they're coming on roundabouts or when they're turning, right now, that can help with the traffic, because if you are in an intersection, a line of cars come in and you want to turn out, and the person who's going to turn where you coming from, if they had indicated, then you could have come out, make traffic flow easier,
Yes.
And oh man, I just ask people just to rushing going where, eternity.
And of course, there are those who say that you can't legislate morality, and I would add to that and say that you can't legislate common sense either.
Not too common now. I don't know what happened, man. People just in a rush, and but my message would be to everybody: just take it easy. Nothing ain't going nowhere except the traffic. Just take your time, be courteous, try and think of the other drivers, and just and above all, remember the reason for the season.
Yes.
Jesus rather than all the material things.
Yeah, and I would imagine that next week Friday there's going to be a whole lot of gridlock on the roads of the Cayman Islands. So for those persons who have things to do, try to do it early as well.
Yeah. My last point was, I just wanted to know if you got time.
Sure. Go ahead.
The traffic congestion up in Bordentown, my area there, in the mornings, right? With the traffic coming from east, some coming down through the main road, some coming through the Anton Borden Drive, and then everything then where Anton Borden Drive or Condo Road actually intersects with Shamrock Road, then there's a big backup because you're depending on people to let you out,
Right.
And then that causes a backup all the way, sometimes way up the road. And I noticed a couple of weeks ago, CUC were working on the main road, and they had the front road locked off, and all the traffic was being diverted through the back road. And when I come out that morning and I see all this backup of traffic, I say, oh no, But then when I realized the traffic was flowing much better, I left home most that morning 3 minutes after 6, and by 27 after 6, I was pulling in my workplace.
Wow,
right?
wow.
Because of all the traffic, everything was coming down through the back road, and conversely, they were sending everything up through the back road. So there was nothing except the local traffic coming down through the front road. It was not bottleneck, not up at the intersection there. The following morning, traffic was as usual, traffic coming down through both ways, and I left home roughly the same time, 5 minutes after 6. I got down just before 7 o'clock. That's different. So why it draws me to think that maybe if they would just for like say between 5 o'clock in the morning till maybe 8:30, have the traffic to one way. All the traffic coming from east come down through Anton Borden. And all the traffic heading east walk through Borden town.
Right,
so
right.
We need a volume of traffic on the main road so that it wouldn't create that backlog and back up, because that backlog, because of that right there at Anton Borden, it causes traffic to back up all the way past Pease Bay on the main road and all the way up to, Lookout Gardens on the back road, you know.
And you could basically control it too, because you would only the local traffic coming out of Borden town proper that you would allow to come west and not use Condor.
Well, and right, just the local traffic, because it's not that much. The volume of the traffic is the people coming from east and north side, breakers, you know, those areas, right?
Yep.
The local traffic in Borden don't need that much, so it wouldn't be as much. And you could have a police officer up there to monitor to see if things get kind of backlogged. They could do a little, you know, traffic management and stuff. It would just be like I said, 3 hours in the morning during the crunch time.
Yep, good idea.
Right? See how it goes, you know. Maybe it might work, maybe it mightn't, but at least it's something to think about for the short term, because that ain't gonna be the solution. But at least for the short term, you know, it might help.
Yep.
But because trust me, man, when people gotta leave home 4:30 and 4:45 and them kind of thing in the morning, you know, and then you don't get home till 8. Some people 8, 9 o'clock. You know, you're spending your life literally on the road.
Roads, yep. On a 22-mile Long Island.
That's what causes some of the frustration, the traffic, you know, the road rage and the frustration because of all the traffic, you know. So it makes people drive in a way that maybe they wouldn't normally do if traffic were flowing better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, my friend.
Hey, brother, you enjoy the Christmas. Stay safe and God bless.
Thank you. All the best to you and your family as well.
Yeah, man.
We have 2 callers on hold. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, we will accommodate those callers. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Ho, 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 ho. Tis Santa here. Join me and my elves for the 2022 Coca-Cola Christmas Parade, Grand Cayman's cheeriest Christmas tradition. Tuesday, December 20th, my elves and reindeer will be soaring from the heart of West Bay at 5:30 p.m. with 7 stops: Turtle Farm, West Bay Fire Station, Governors, Cardinal Avenue, Windsor Park, Country and Western, and South Sound Dock. My elves and I will be giving away presents throughout the parade. Ho, ho, ho. So come out for a wave. Join the Christmas cheer, the 2022 Coca-Cola Christmas Parade, Tuesday, December 20th, starting from West Bay, 5:30 p.m.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
New stock has just arrived at Super Stitch. Now don't take my word for it, drop by and see for yourself. Fresh off the boat, we have loads of fabric, vinyl upholstery fabric, fabric for cushions, outdoor fabrics, and dress fabric. That's not all. Super Stitch has sewing accessories and craft items. Included in the new shipment, you will find sheets, comforters, throw pillows, bath mats, rugs, and curtains for every room in your home. Super Stitch, 39 Pasadora Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best price in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
For the Record with ORRETT CONNOR.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the Record with ORRETT CONNOR. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. 2 callers on hold, so we're going straight to the phone lines. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello.
Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Morning, Mr. Connor. While we're in traffic, I would like to bring something to your attention, public's attention.
Sure.
In countryside by Foster's, right? You have a lane that will take you straight into Newlands. It's coming from south going north. The lane on the left takes you either turn into Foster's or go straight Newlands.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a turning lane coming from Newlands going south to turn into Foster.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a next lane that takes you straight across. So there's 3 lanes there.
Right.
The problem there is that we have people turning into Prince Link, which is on your right. Now, if you're coming from south to turn into Prince Link, you need to stay left, because the turning lane is for traffic coming from Newlands to turn into Foster.
Mm-hmm.
You know what happened to me yesterday? I was making a turn into Prince Link, so I was staying all the way to my left to make a right turn.
Okay.
A lady pulls up beside me on the right side of my vehicle. It's a good thing I checked my mirror.
Uh-huh.
To also turn into Prince Link.
Wow.
So I tried to get her attention to say, you know, that's the wrong thing you're doing. They gave me the finger.
Wow.
So I think NRA needs to look into that spot. It's a dangerous spot because...
Yeah, there are no markings on the road in terms of not clear lane markings there.
Right. My wife got into a little friend that been there some years ago, and they gave her the wrong. So I make sure, because I live in that area, I make sure whenever I'm turning into Prince Link, I keep left, because the turning lane is for traffic coming from Newlands turn into Foster.
Mm-hmm.
But people are using that turning lane to turn into Prince Link on the right, which is wrong.
Yeah.
So yesterday, like I said, if I was observant, I would have hit that vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Because how can you, as a driver, come on my right-hand side to make the same turn as me?
And then to add to the ignorance, then to give you the finger as well.
And then she had some kids in with her, and I tried to blow them to explain. They gave me the bird.
Flip the bird on you, huh?
Yeah, they put the bird on me, but it's a thing that needs to be looked into at that area. It's very, very dangerous.
Yeah, yes.
Mm-hmm. So that's my 2 cents for today.
Thank you very much.
I would like to say, best for the Christmas to all in my sound of my voice. Have a blessed and safe Christmas.
Thank you, and the same to you and your family as well.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Sophie. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
It must be getting pretty cold up that way now, isn't it?
Well, it's starting to get pretty cold. You know, it's just transitioning into proper cold. You know, and that's especially when that happens. You know, that's when Cayman. Just when I call, you know, somebody's at the beach and the water is sort of like making the sound. And I say to myself, why am I here? You know. Now, see, I've really called to make a special Christmas greeting for a special group of people in your office.
Okay.
But before I do that, let me just say that I listened to your interview with the governor. This governor has done okay, but I think he has failed in relation to holding the judiciary accountable, because up to now we do not have any rules which govern the complaints against judges. We've been waiting since 2016, and since last year I've been communicating with him. Up to now we don't have the rules. But that leads into the next point. Me and my Cayman team, we've just achieved a little victory that I want to share regarding that subject matter.
Okay.
Basically, the judiciary for a long time didn't want to release the number of judges who were complained against, what was the nature of the complaint, what was the result, those kinds of details. As a result of an appeal of a Freedom of Information request, Ms. Suzanne Bothwell, who was the reviewing officer, has informed me that in accordance with the independent legal advice she received, I suspect it is outside Cayman, but she just said independent legal advice.
Yeah.
She said that the judiciary has to release how many complaints were made against judges, what the nature of the complaints were, what the results of the complaints were, and a few related details. So that is really great because we fought about that for quite a while. Then I just filed my appeal. Also, you remember the case that I was fighting where I sued the judge as well as the governor? I have just filed my appeal with the Privy Council. In fact, I finished the process this morning. A member of my Cayman team served the appeal, the application for appeal on the Attorney General earlier this week. He did the affidavit, and I filed it online, so that appeal is in line. So we are hoping that this victory in relation to the freedom of information and the information we will be getting, together with that appeal, we can help drive a certain more accountability with the judiciary in the Cayman Islands.
On average, how long would a Privy Council appeal take?
You see, usually it takes a few months because they have to look at it and see if they are going to grant leave.
Yes.
So on and so forth. So that technically it is an appeal, yes. But it is technically a leave to appeal. It takes a couple of months. I would expect in about 6 months. I should hear something.
Okay.
So that's where that is. Now, the greeting. Special greeting to the ladies at Radio Cayman. Miss Eva, Norma, Miss Paulette. Miss Paulette, that voice, they should sell it in little packages like this, and then they can use it to cure mild headaches. Miss Paulette's voice.
Yes.
And then Laura, Dion, Martha, April Cummings, Suzanne, Kathy, Shanda. I think this one is Felicia, Anita, Carsley, and special greeting for all the ladies of Cayman. But a small greeting for you and Dwayne, and especially Mr. Loxley Banks and all the other men.
And you notice Radio Cayman dominated by females. They run the show.
Once a place is dominated by females, it can only be better. Thanks very much. I appreciate it, and have a good day.
Thank you. All the best to you, and enjoy the holidays, and please stay safe as well. And if it gets too cold, just become a snowbird and head south.
Well, exactly. Thank you, Elsie. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Okay, take care now. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Elsie.
Hey, good morning. How art thou?
I'm good. How you doing?
Okay. Before you say anything, there was a question that we didn't get to ask you, and someone sent it to me, and they wanted to know. I believe that you're on a beautification committee, and how is that task force, and how is that working out? What have you been making any strides?
Yeah, we've been doing pretty good. We've moved. I can't remember how many dialect vehicles. And we have been responsible for closing down many under the grape-free garages that just pile up the vehicles and scrap them to fix another vehicle. Illegal garage, we were calling them. So, yeah, it's going pretty good. Just that.
That's good to know.
Some people are trying to be crafty by saying the vehicle is being repaired, because you'll get a yard, and just outside of that, their fence along the roadside, they got a vehicle up on blocks and no wheels, and then they will tell you, no, it's being repaired.
But it's on the public roadway.
Right, yeah.
Oh.
But they'll tell you it's being repaired. But we're working on it.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, I'm not too sure. Elio Solomon, when he was an elected member, brought a motion, a private member motion, but for an amendment within the law, Constitution, I think, the law saying, immigration law, that jobs only for Caymanians.
Certain jobs should be reserved, for Caymanians.
Yeah, and it was passed in the LA, and I think the legal department did their amendment, but I don't think that it was. I'm not sure how we go about it after that. But once it becomes a law, the amendment was made. Wouldn't it then become a law?
Yes. If it's if a bill went to the Parliament or to the Legislative Assembly, and then it was assented to by the governor, then it becomes law, either on being assented to or being gazetted, depending on the situation, whether or not that piece of legislation reached that far. I'm not sure, but I don't think that there's anything in effect, with that. Now, we have seen some other countries, Bermuda toyed with it a little bit, and they actually have where there are certain categories of employment that are reserved exclusively for Bermudans. We have seen a reluctance here in the Cayman Islands for something like that to be implemented. As a matter of fact, if I would say that we may have the opposite effect, where there are some jobs in the Cayman Islands that employers, and the reality of the situation is that Caymanians are not attracted to those jobs, so they go exclusively to work permit holders because the Caymanians are not necessarily attracted to them. And I can think of one right offhand, for instance, food and beverage servers, where you're finding the situations where not many Caymanians are attracted to it, so more and more work permits are being issued for that as well. But it is something can be achieved if it is looked at carefully, and we do a proper study of those jobs that Caymanians are in. One of the things that we're still missing in the Cayman Islands is having the data. Now, the information may be there, but taking it and collating it in a manner where you can make rational policy decisions is another question.
Yeah, but see, you mentioned server. I remember back in the day when it was just us basically around. I know of friends that work in the bank in the day and would go to the various places at night and be waitresses and go home with more money than what they made as salary at the bank. I know this one girl told me that she started her foundation and had her house up the belt and with just her gratuity,
Yeah.
So if we educate our people, and because for a long time we've been talking about this tourist school or what we call it, college that we were supposed to create. We even bought a facility to house that kind of education, and there's nothing happened. But yet we want to always throw up there about our tourist experience and destination and come and enjoy the Cayman kind.
And the University College was doing something with that as well. I remember we had the gentleman Jackson. He was either from Turks and Caicos or somewhere else. I think he left after some incident or something. But we don't hear a whole lot about what's happening at the University College of the Cayman Islands as far as those training programs are concerned.
See, like I said, this Cayman kind, but I know tourists that come to the island for 7-8 days, and they leave the Cayman Islands without meeting any Cayman people except the person that checked them in at the airport. So we got to be careful with this Cayman kind thing. They should come to me, and I'll give them some thought on what that should be like. Said another thing. The governor. My good friend McCoy mentioned the governor. This governor, in my opinion, was similar to Mr. Russell. All over the place.
Yep.
And I too played in that game up in Bordentown. I actually played against the governor. Displayed a few skills against him. I had to show him up. Because he thought he was a little hot shot on the field too. You got to see him. He's a good player. I put 2 Ronaldinho moves on him. He say, you're a cheeky little one. Yeah. So, so Osi, you're gonna be on again?
No, today's the last day until January.
Oh, today is the last day.
Yep.
Oh, well, I want
well-deserved break.
Oh, well, I want to wish everybody in the Cayman Islands a Merry Christmas, and I would hope that we get back to celebrating Christmas the way, the Cayman way. And we need to start, us as the people of the Cayman Islands, to display the way Cayman people celebrated Christmas back in the day. We need to bring back some of the traditional things we used to do.
Yep.
And we're going to start building bonfire back in the sea, ladies and gentlemen, up there. And I can't lock up all the Easterners in one night. We're going to be building bonfire. We're going to be doing all kind of things. And by the way, I have a caboose. I'm cooking my beef on my caboose with tree wood.
Okay.
I refuse to use propane for my beef. I will be cooking traditional style Cayman beef.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Okay. Gone past our commercial break. You have a great day. We will talk. Folks, please stay tuned. Paul, and the callers on hold. 2 callers still? Okay, we're going to grab those callers. We're only going to have about less than 10 minutes left when we return. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
We do a whole lot more than just cover your floor at Paramount Carpets.
Paramount Carpet Cayman Brac Christmas sale is back for 2 days only, Friday, December 16th and Saturday, December 17th, with 15% off in-store tiles, carpet, area rugs, paint, plumbing, windows and doors. Paramount Carpet Cayman Brac Christmas sale. It's back Friday, December 16th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday, December 17th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Followed by the Children's Christmas Party at Spot Bay Park from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Paramount Carpet Cayman Brac, located at 342 Spot Bay Road. Call 948-2665.
We do a whole lot more than just cover your floor at Paramount Carpet.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Switch from slow to the fastest, most reliable network to get this exclusive Digicel Christmas offer. It costs $0 to switch. It's free and you keep your number. That's not all. Switch today and enjoy 50% off your bill for the next 3 months. Stay on any Christmas plan to get 10 gigabytes of any use data every month for a year on us. That's 10 gigs for TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and more. Hurry in store and make the switch today with this limited time Christmas offer. It's the Christmas that keeps on giving. Digicel, Merry Christmas.
For the record, with ORRETT CONNOR.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with ORRETT CONNOR. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show. We have 2 callers. Those will be the last 2 callers for the morning. And Mr. Jeffrey Wood, who is a frequent listener to Radio Cayman. He's one of our loyal listeners as well. He wants to wish all in the Cayman Islands happy Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And while it has been a challenging year, he's happy that God has been good and brought us through it as well. So we want to thank Mr. Jeffrey Wood for those comments. Let's grab the 2 callers. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I would like to thank you very much for your continuous service to our community and your refusal to do the normal retirement and do the Formula One retirement, which is to come into pit stop and change your tires and retire. Your contribution to our community is sterling. I would like to thank Radio Cayman for being a partner with our community in accomplishing so much, irrespective of financial concerns. You have been able to address topics that have been relevant to resolution and importance to making this community better, and you've done so fearlessly, and you understand the value of your existence, which is the value of time as opposed to the value of assets. I really would like to thank you, and like to thank all our listeners who have been very supportive. And I'd also like to thank those who perform duties that are considerably challenging now, our garbage collectors, who at this time do a remarkable job. And we need to express gratitude to them beyond just saying thanks. We should go out there and greet them and give them a gift as they do the final collection. As this year ends, thank you so much for making sure that it ends well. And shout out to Mr. Jeffrey Wood, who has overcome much challenge.
Yes.
And in gratitude for the Lord enabling him to meet another Christmas. And those who have lost their loved ones, we are here to shoulder with you this season, which is going to be difficult.
Okay, now I shared earlier an article from the Trade Winds newspaper in relation to the Rotary. What is your club doing this year? Is that your club that would have been involved in that in the past years, or that would be a different chapter?
The Grand Cayman Club, which started in 1965, would have been the club that Mr. Panton was then a president of. And from that club, Rotary Central was birthed. Rotary Cayman Black was the second club in the Cayman Islands, and then Rotary Central, and then Rotary Sunrise. Each of us have done our part in different ways, leaving different fingerprints, bringing different fabrics, threads to the fabric, and enabling our communities to succeed. As you have said that, I am in gratitude for you being able to bring out historical vignettes that would have remained buried treasure. And that is our history, which has been more remarkable than people will acknowledge, and very much a part of why we are where we are now in experiencing the successes that we experience. I'd also like to highlight to our other service organizations which we work with in Strategic Alliance, the Lions Club, Kiwanis, and other entities such as them who help to make our country work, understanding that government cannot do everything. And your voice is an important part of the success of who we are. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thanks to you and your organizations for what you do as well. Last caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Sir O.C.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
This is Lucille Simo with a hoarse voice. I want next year for you to talk about the whole, what Graham brought up recently on jobs for Caymanians. Not that is my overall dictate. What I'd like to for you to talk about is the whole question of the food and beverage, why Caymanians don't go on it. Because, having visited the Bahamas on many occasions, I have seen the turn in that country. And let me tell you, I have seen the benefits coming to those persons who work in the food and beverage. It's unfortunate that we are telling ourselves that Caymanians don't do that. But there are lots of high jobs in the food and beverage section. And I'd like you, because you are very able to do that, OC, to talk about that.
Okay.
The second point, I'm going to give you some homework for Christmas. Both you and I were part of the Constitutional development in the 209 Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
And in it, we put in not volunteer, persons like the Attorney General and et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm not so sure that when we talk, and I'm saying this without any malice,
Sure.
when we talk about the deputy governor, who is the Queen's representative, sitting in our house, in our parliament, not voting, but bringing motions, debating, doing all sorts of things like that. I believe it's time that we really look into it carefully
Mm-hmm.
to see if we are not ultra-virus of the Constitution. And it has been on my mind for some time, and I thought I would say to you and give you some homework because I know you're very good at it.
Sure. And the argument that is being used for their presence there, to me, it really doesn't hold a whole lot of water when it comes to speaking on behalf of the civil service, and because they can speak through others there. Yeah.
That's who should be in the House,
Mm-hmm.
the Cabinet Secretary.
Mm.
Well, I know that you will do your research on it.
Certainly will.
The other point that, and I know that you are perhaps know a little more than I do because you stayed in the civil service a long time. When we go to official functions, and I say this at the end of the year because it's been bothering me, they announce that we must stand up for the Commissioner of Police. I don't know in my Constitution where that is. It's been bothering me for a long time. I have no disrespect for the Commissioner of Police.
Uh-huh.
I know he has a job, but I did not know that we were a police state. That I didn't really realize that.
Relic of colonialism.
Sorry?
I said that's a relic of colonialism. If we expected to do that.
We have a constitution too.
Mm-hmm.
So we must be guided by that. But those were two things really three things that I wanted to that's been on my mind.
Sure.
But basically what I wanted to say to you, that you must keep this up. And I know you have sort of fired Mr. Matfield. I haven't heard him.
No. He was on this week. I made sure that I had him on one day this week before because I know there would be a clamor, to get on today. And had I known that Minister J. Ebanks wasn't going to be on again, I would have had Dr. Matfield on after the governor. But I ensured that I had him on this week early just in case, this happened.
I think he raised a good point with the governor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we must, this is what our radio is for, to enlighten our people. We don't have a daily newspaper. We don't have much of the media that will help us to elucidate and find out and discuss about ourselves and about our politics. But your talk show does that, and that's great. I want to say finally to everybody, I wish them a Merry Christmas, and that I just hope that the wishes that people have, in particular poorer people, that they will come true, and they must take care of their health, enjoy themselves, and love themselves. And to the senior citizens, I love you all. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Miss Lucille. All the best to you and your family as well. And we look forward to next year, God's willing, to continue to impart information, to give our listeners, the people of the Cayman Islands, a platform for them to express their views as well. Paul, do we have time for the voice note? Let's play that as well.
Good morning, Mr. Connor. Happy Friday, and all the best for the fast approaching Christmas season. I was hoping that, I think you mentioned that Minister Jay would have been on, but probably I'll ask you so you could, you might know the answer. But I'm wondering if there's an update on the travel blitz that was done recently to Jamaica and Costa Rica and Honduras and Spain about food supply, food chain, and ensuring that we get that sorted out. But I haven't heard any update on that. Could you let us know if you know anything about it? Thank you. Happy Friday.
Okay, so folks, this brings to an end, for the record, for this year. God willing, next year we will continue to inform you, to dialogue with you, to dialogue with our legislators as well, to bring a balanced discussion, balanced conversation to the table as well. I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes for this year, previous years, and look forward to it in the future. I want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I implore you to extend a helping hand to them, especially this time of the year when we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. We want to consider those really who need, not necessarily those who want, or even those who crave. And when you reach out to someone, if it means that you have to lift them up, don't consider them to be a burden. Just remember, he ain't heavy, he's my brother. She ain't heavy, she is my sister. And no matter how much you may revile someone, at the end of the day, they are human beings as well. And they need to be treated as such. While sometimes we have to be harsh, we still do not want to ignore the fact that they are a fellow human being. So folks, I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman, and I want to thank all of those listeners who sent out kudos to all the staff, especially the women of Radio Cayman as well. I encourage you to join Sterling Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for Talk Today. Have a great holiday. Please stay safe. If you have to drink, then drink and don't drive. Act responsibly. Look out for others when you see them in potentially vulnerable situations. Do what you can to help them as well. I'm not sure whether or not there are any bartenders listening out there, but watch out for your clientele as well to ensure. Or if you're having a party at your own private residence, ensure that those persons who are there when they're leaving, that they are in the condition that they can transport themselves. If not, take away the keys and have someone drive them home as well. They may not like it at the point when it is being done. They will certainly appreciate it the next day when they find themselves still alive as well. So folks, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands, and look forward, God's willing, to dialoguing with you in the year 2023 as well.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money. From abroad to yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
Radio Cayman, the voice.